Hello, what's the crack? It's Jenny here again, and today, by popular demand, we are going to be making Baked Alaska, as voted by you. So, in case anyone doesn't know what Baked Alaska is, it's a dessert from the 70s, I think. So you've got a baked sponge on the bottom, a layer of ice cream, and then a layer of toasted meringue on the top. So no pressure here, So first we're going to start off with the ice cream part, and that just involves scooping out your ice cream and placing it in the freezer before you do everything else. So I've decided to make individual Baked Alaska. So here we go. This is our scooped ice cream set onto a baking tray lined with baking parchment, and that's going to go straight into the freezer, and then we will get on with the rest. Right, so we're going to get on with our sponge mix, and I am doing an all-in-one sponge, which you will all be very glad to hear. It's very easy. So it just involves putting everything into the one bowl and mixing it up, putting it into the tray and baking it. So because of the type of individual pavlova, I keep going to say, Baked Alaska that I'm going to do, it is going to be on this tray, which is a 9 by 13 inch tray, lined and greased. So you will have excess left over, but we will worry about that later. Not worry, but anyway. So we're going to start off with a bowl, and we're going to put in 175 grams of butter, 175 grams of sugar. We're going to sieve in our 175 grams of flour and 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder also. Now by sieving that, you're just going to get a little bit more air into your sponge. And lastly, we are going to crack in 3 eggs. And I am going to fancy up the sponge a little by adding in some white chocolate and some raspberries also, because I'm using raspberry ripple ice cream and I want to go as fancy as possible here. So there we are. And now we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, this is going to get whisked up now by our electric whisk, and you're going to meet me in 5 minutes when it's all whisked up, and we're going to add in the white chocolate and the raspberries. Okay, so this has been beaten now for 5 minutes, and it's just an all-in-one method, so it's really, really easy. So this is how it looks now, and now we're just going to add in 100 grams of chopped white chocolate, and this is just around half a punnet of raspberries, and they've just been torn up a little bit. You can use strawberries also if you want. And we're just going to use this spatula to just gently mix everything. You don't want it too over mixed. So that is that. Now we'll move our tray here, and we'll just add this mix to the tray and level it out. And I'm sure this is going to be really nice. I will also give a few different alternatives to this recipe, as in if you want it to be chocolate based or lemon. I will, feel free to go crazy with this. The crazier the better. You could do banoffee, you could do mint chocolate with a mint chocolate ice cream. Just whatever your family really, really likes. or you could go just plain, you could go really classic. It's whatever you want. So I want to see some surprises. That would be great. You could go chocolate base, chocolate ice cream with some Nutella. That would be really nice too. So you're smoothing this as best as you can over the bottom, and try not to waste any. Okay, so here is our mix now in the tin, and it is ready to be put into the oven. And it is going to go into your preheated oven of 160 fan or 180 convection oven. And it's going to be in there for between 10 and 15 minutes. Now, I would normally check after 10 minutes, and I use one of these bamboo skewers to check for doneness. So really what you're wanting to do is you just stick it into the middle of the cake, and whenever you pull it out, you need to feel the tip, and it should be quite dry or have little crumbs on it. If it's still kind of wet and gooey, you need to put it back into the oven for another 5 minutes. And everyone's ovens are different, so by all means, if you check it again after the 15 minutes and it still looks a little bit undone, give it another 5 minutes. Everyone's oven, as I said, is different, so you just need to get to know your own oven and check with your little skewer for doneness in the middle of the cake. Alright, our cake has now been out of the oven for 5 minutes, sitting on top of your cooling rack. So what you're going to do now, just in case anyone finds this part maybe a bit difficult, you don't know how to invert. So we're going to just make sure that this is going to come out of the tin easily by running a knife just along the top edges. And we're going to get our cooling rack, and we're going to put it upside down, place it on top, hold very tightly to both the cooling rack and the tray, and you're going to flip that over, and voila, the cake comes out really, really easily. And remove your baking parchment, dispose, and just let this cool down until it gets cold, and that is it. Okay, so as you can see, the cake has now cooled down. I have transferred it to this cutting board here, and I've started to cut out my circles for the base of the dessert with this cookie cutter here. Now this is a 3-inch cookie cutter, and we're just going to do the final cut here, and then we're going to lay these out onto the board. I'm going to cover those with jam in a moment. Now, as you can see, I'm only doing 4 portions here, and you will be left with the rest of this lovely cake, which you can either eat as it is with maybe some extra jam or cream, or you can eat it on its own. You can also cut more of these cookie cutter shapes out and leave them in the freezer for later whenever you want to make some more baked Alaska. If you're going to do that, you should wrap them tightly in cling film and freeze them separately, and they will keep in the freezer for roughly 2 to 3 weeks. And we're just going to spread some of this raspberry jam onto the cakes now, and your ice cream is going to stick onto those. And once we have this bit done, we're moving on to making the meringue and the assembling of all of these parts together to make our lovely baked Alaska. Now, as I said before, you can do different types of this, and I will explain that better in the written recipe form. So now that we have these all ready to go, we are going to switch over now, and I will show you how to make the meringue. Okay, now we're making the meringue part. This is a very important tip to know, that if you're going to make meringues, you need to use a really clean bowl with really clean whisks, meaning that there is no grease, no water, etc. in the bowl. If you're unsure, take a piece of kitchen roll and make sure you go around the whole bowl, cleaning it out. Then you're going to put your 4 egg whites in with a little pinch of salt. I've already added that. And then we're going to start, this is going to be noisy, we're going to start this on a low setting. And here beside me we have 220 grams of caster sugar, and once this froths up a little, we're going to start adding the caster sugar bit by bit. Now once it gets to this stage, you can increase your power a little and just hold on to that bowl. And the reason why we add the sugar bit by bit and not all at the one go is that you are encouraging the egg whites to incorporate the sugar bit by bit so that it disappears into the egg whites, so that the egg whites become really stiff and glossy. Now these are starting to froth a little, so we can add our first bit of sugar, and you can move your bowl around as you do this also. And this will continue until you have all of your sugar added. Just going to check this. That's looking about right. So you want your egg whites and sugar to whisk into stiff peaks that hold their shape. So that is done. And now comes the fun part, the assembling of the ice cream and the cake and the meringue. Okay, so as you can see, I have one already covered in meringue and ice cream. This is going to be, you'll have to do this pretty quickly, as you can see. Maybe it is a little more difficult doing individual ones, but you literally cover the entire cake with the meringue. Try and keep you will get messy doing this, don't worry about it. You will get your meringue, cover the entire base and sides, and then what you're wanting to do is you want to get it into your preheated oven, preheat it as high as it will go, and you're going to put these into the oven for 3 minutes just to get them toasted. This is the whole fun of Baked Alaska. So don't be afraid, it will look a bit messy, but it is beautiful. Baked Alaska is supposed to be nice and rustic. So the reason you need to cover this whole piece is to stop the ice cream from melting out the bottom. And just one little bit more. And this is going to go straight in now. You can spike up your meringue as well. Do little spikes. Cover the top bit there with ice cream. And almost ready. One bit more for luck. And ready for the oven. Okay, so here we have our finished product. Let's see if we can remove it from the tray. This was a really fun experience. I hope you all have great fun making this. And any minute now. Here we go. Oh, that's so nice. And it looks really good. And I'm only going to plate up one because, as you will find out for yourselves, it's really challenging and a lot of fun to make. So here we go now. Ready? With a few raspberries on the side. I'm gonna just put over a little bit of icing sugar. And the ice cream will be nice and melty on the inside, ready to tuck in. So I hope you all have enjoyed your request for Baked Alaska. I hope you all enjoy making it as much as I have and as much as Jorge has enjoyed filming it. So thank you everyone, and hope to see you again soon. Okay, so here is a different way to toast the meringue, just in case anyone happens to have a cook's blowtorch. This would be my preferred way to do it, because I have a blowtorch, because it's easier and because it's really fun to use. So you just toast your meringue like this. It's smelling really good. And then you dig right in with a little bit of icing sugar. And let's see. Whoa. It's been so long since I've eaten one of these. Real nostalgia. So here it is. I hope you all enjoy this recipe, and send us in your photos and how you get on.